place. Today I have the opportunity to talk a little bit with Craig Miles, founder of WONI Radio. Craig, such a pleasure to have you to join us today. I'm really looking forward to this.
Shalom, it's a pleasure to be here also. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So Craig, let's just go ahead and jump in. One of the first things I'd like you to tell the audience is just a little bit about you.
Okay, well, number one, I am happily married for 38 years. And I was saved in 1968. Submitted myself to Yah in 1979, around that time. But I've been following him for a long time, And when I was a kid, I played in a band. I was in choirs and groups. And in the 70s, early 70s, I had the opportunity of being a songwriter and part owner of a publishing company.
Oh, wow.
And I was soliciting my music all over Manhattan, the Bronx, Brooklyn, New Jersey. And I think some of my songs did get accepted by a lot of people.
Wow.
But anyway, I just love the media. I went to school for recording engineering in New York at Parsons College. I went to school for business administration. So I've done a lot of different things. I was in banking for a while, went to school for banking.
Wow.
So I had the opportunity of learning different trades and different skills and putting them all together for the music industry. I was destined to be in the music industry on the East Coast.
Oh, I love that, destiny. So you have a very diverse background, so it's not hard to see how WONI was breathed. So I'm sure we're going to learn a little bit more about that later on, right?
We sure will.
All right, so Craig, tell us what is WONI Radio, WONI? What does it stand for?
WONI Radio, WONI. Well, you know, a lot of radio stations and TV stations on the East Coast has W, and on the West Coast and in Central United States they use a K. So I've created WONI, which stands for One Nation Israel.
Wonderful.
Right. And some people just call it WONI Radio, and that's
what I
it's
call
picking up for me, really. I like that.
That's what I call it. Very easy to get out there and spread the word, right? Well, Craig, tell us a little bit about One Nation Israel.
One Nation Israel. One Nation Israel is an internet radio station. I have to phrase that just right. An internet radio station. I was called to preach the gospel. You know, in Matthew it talks about preaching the gospel of the kingdom. Okay. Also in Matthew, and I'm not going to go into the exact scripture, but you know where it is. The Messiah said, "Go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." Okay.
Yes,
but then again, in other passages, I hate to use that word passages, but in other scriptures, he says, he talked to Peter and his brother, and he said, "I will make you fishers of men." And then that caught me. Fishers of men. Okay, so he wants us to go to the lost sheep of Israel. He wants us to be fishers of men. So it really struck my spirit because he told me to go. So I looked at the internet and I said, okay, I'll use the internet as a net, okay, to reach the lost sheep, but they're also fish. So look at the examples. We have two fishermen. What did they do? They casted their net from the boat, okay, to catch fish. It really struck my spirit because he told me to go. So I looked at the internet and I said, okay, I'll use the internet as a net, okay, to reach the lost sheep, but they're also fish. So look at the examples. We have two fishermen. What did they do? They casted their net from the boat, okay, to catch fish, okay. So the example is we are to go out and reach the lost sheep, okay. We are to be fishers of men, okay? Now, when we pull that net in, we really don't know what we're getting, do we?
No, we don't.
We really don't know. However, Yah knows who they are.
Yes,
so when we pull that net in, he sorts it out. So I'm using the internet, I'm using music as bait, because our people, we know, we love music.
We love music,
okay?
we do.
So what better way of using music as bait? Okay, and all the music is contemporary, but I have different formats in the music genres and formats on WONI. Okay, so here's what's happening. They're hearing the music, and they're being drawn into an environment that's reaching Hebrew Israelites, even though they may not know who they are. But they are Hebrew Israelites, and the Spirit of Yah, the Ruach, is going to draw them. So all I have to do is focus on go to the lost sheep and fish. I'm just called to bring them in with the internet. Does that make sense?
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so
I just want to say that is Yah breathe. I almost feel like we could stop the interview right now and just tell everyone where to go and get the app.
But see, that's the great thing about the app. We're all called to preach the gospel, okay, the good news. But sometimes people are hesitant in doing so.
Yes.
Well, guess what? All they have to do is share the app to anyone, especially people that they know, their families, friends, and those people may not know who they really are. But if they get the app, they listen to the music, and sometimes you'll hear Jesus in it just to satisfy them and bring them in. But when they hear the music and they get convicted,
yes,
or they have a question about the music, well, guess what? They can go back to the person that gave them the app, and that person can either tell them and explain what the word is, or they can pass it to a brother or sister who they are accountable to in their congregation. But we are accomplishing what the Father has called us to do. Go. Yes, there are a lot of signs and wonders out there, but we can't get caught up with the signs. We've got to let the signs show us where we are and where we're going, but we've got to go.
So don't lose sight of the mission is what I hear you saying.
Don't lose sight of the mission. That's my mission.
Okay.
That's what he's called me to do, and I have a fire. And he's given me an opportunity, and he's also given me a way to preach the gospel, and for other people as well to preach the gospel through WONI. Send them to the website, give them the app. How easy is that?
Sounds very easy. They probably already have their phones ready to download it, but we're not there yet. We still want to learn a little bit more about WONI. So tell us a little bit about the music. What type of music will we hear on WONI or WONI?
Well, let me put it this way. We all have different flavors of music. I grew up with all kinds of music, jazz, classic, not that I'm playing classic, but all the different styles of music that Hebrew Israelites like. I try to cover that in different formats. That way, for instance, in the morning, I have a format called Fresh Brew for the Hebrews, Fresh Brew Music Mix. That way they can wake up with some up-tempo music, get them going, get them little ruach, through the lyrics of the music. And so I have another format, smooth brew, smooth brew music mix. Okay. So smooth brew is a little mellow, but it has little upbeat, has little R&B flavors. But the point of it is this: there's enough flavor in WONI Radio, WONI, to satisfy somebody.
Yes.
And that's the key of it right there.
Well, Craig, you've given us a lot of good information about the formatting, but I'd actually like to delve into that a little bit more. I'd like to hear a little bit more about the lineup. But first,
okay,
I'd like to tell you what my favorite segments are. Can I do that?
Yes.
Smooth brew in the morning. That is my favorite because I'm an avid coffee drinker. And so having my cup of coffee in the morning, listening to that music in the morning just kind of ushers me into a place of worship. And then, of course, the scripture for today.
Yes.
My dear Hoti Carla, she has a way with Yah's words. She's definitely Ruach filled, and so it's so uplifting and edifying in the morning. So I just wanted to share with you what my
Carry on. Yes, she is wonderful. But again, the formats were created to reach all different genres of people. Let's talk about on the Sabbath. I have one. I'm going to look at my notes for a second, so please bear with me. Songs for the Sabbath. That genre was I'm looking for the word, but that genre was made specifically to be with Yah be with the Father on the Sabbath. No matter where you are, you can be in your car, you can be home, you can be spending time with your family, you can be praying, you can be meditating, but the key is to be resting in Him on the Sabbath. And get this, there are some congregations right now in the Dallas area are using that format in the morning before their service begins.
Oh, nice.
To set up the atmosphere for worship and to receive the teaching that that leader has. So
Wow.
It's great. It's great. Then I have another format, and that format is for you know how some people are they like that hip hop music,
Yes.
and that's great. But they need something from Yah too.
Yes.
So I have a hip hop program, and that is called. Hold on. Okay, yes, it's called the hip hop. It's called Hebrew hip hop. Okay, Hebrew hip hop, and there's a lot of Hebrew hip hop out there. So one of the other formats is called the Most High Worship, and that format is from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. There are a lot of people that stay up late at night praying and meditating and just want to hear from the Father, and I created that format just for them because after all, we need something. For me, I'm up late at night, and sometimes I just want to chill out, spend time with Dad, Yah, and I have that music, that environment that I can just shut down, listen to the music, and let Him talk to me, or reprimand me, or encourage me. He'll give me what I need in the late hours of the evening.
The midnight hours,
Right,
the old
midnight
folk used to say.
Right. But we have a lot of different formats that we're building right now. One of them is the Shalak Show. Brother Lee, man, that brother is deep, and he's going to surprise me with that show. He hasn't told me what the format is yet, but I know it's going to be great. So we're going to keep the lid on that one.
Okay.
Okay. There's another program that I'm really excited about. It's called the Marketplace.
Woo.
Okay. Now, the Marketplace is a program where Hebrew Israelites can share their businesses, their products and services to other Hebrew Israelites. I believe in family, and Scripture talks about us being family. So we can support each other, support one another with the gifts and services that we have. I think that brings a bond.
It does.
Brings unity. It proves to us that we can support ourselves as Israelites. So that's my premise for that. Okay. There's another program that I'm developing. It's called the Hebrew Perspective. Now, I have some dear brothers in Detroit. It's Michael and Sandra Laws. Incidentally, they work with the brother that did Hebrews to Negroes. And what is his name again? Do you know
his name is Ron Dalton.
Ron Dalton, right, and that's a deep brother. Well, they're working with him with a program called the Hebrew Academy of Detroit. And they're it's a teaching academy. But the fact that we developed a relationship so long ago, and I know what God's doing in him. I just wanted to help him be able to help the whole body of Messiah, the whole body of Hebrew Israelites come together. So we're launching, hopefully we'll be launching another WONI satellite.
That is exciting.
In Detroit. And as Yah wills us to do so, we may have others across the country. I mean, WONI radio is not limited just to where we are in Dallas-Fort Worth. That radio station can go all across the world, which is part of the mandate. He said, preach the gospel throughout the world, and then the end will come.
I love that. And you can tell why this is so exciting. I'd like to say it's why I was on board from the beginning. You know, when Yah first awakened me after being a very rebellious hardhead.
You too?
I was very rebellious. But that's for another day.
Sure.
But the Marketplace, he quickly instilled a passion in me for my own people that I didn't have before.
Right.
And so because I've had several businesses, I'm still an entrepreneur, and I have some other businesses, that was my passion, was being able to help other Black-owned Hebrew Israelite businesses to be known.
Oh, wait. You're the host for that show.
I am.
Wow.
I am.
Well,
So this is exciting. exciting. It's really nice to see the manifestation of that vision that y'all places in your heart. And so I'm just blessed to be on board with this.
And my heart is not only for us as ministers of the gospel, but there are other ministers, teachers out there that y'all may be saying to them, you do what you need to do to get the gospel out. So here we have a platform with WONI Radio. If they choose to, they can contact us, and maybe they can get a hour, 2-hour slot on WONI Radio. I like that.
And he's stealing my questions because I was just about to ask
Well, ask me again.
Can Hebrew Israelite ministers and teachers obtain a program on WONI?
Absolutely. In fact, all you need to do is just to go to the website, www.nationisrael.com, and there's information there that they can follow up with also.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Definitely exciting to get in on the groundbreaking event of WONI. So my final question that I have for you, I know I already have mine, my husband Lee has his.
Okay.
I need you to tell us how we can go and get this app because it is fantastic.
Well, the app is real easy, and you have two ways. One, you can go to the website, www.nationisrael.com, or you can just email me at onenationisrael@gmail.com, and I will send it to you. I'm telling you, that app is something else because it plays the music, and pretty soon there'll be other things on that app as far as teachings. There's so many things that we're doing with that app. We are connecting the app with the programs and the different concepts or pages from the menus. So it's going to grow. And right now, it's only available for Android, but real soon it's going to be available for iPhones.
Exciting,
So
exciting.
it's
And
coming.
I'd just like to say, if I could put a plug in here, Craig, if this has blessed you in any way, which I know that it has us, and this is going to bless the nation,
Yes.
we're asking for just a small donation of $1 a month.
Wow.
That would multiply by thousands, maybe millions if we got the entire nation on board. It doesn't take that much. I've spent more than that on a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
It's true. You know, WONI has a potential of reaching 144,000 people. 144,000. Does that sound familiar?
Rings a bell.
So $1 a month would help us to preach the gospel of Yah all over this world. There's so many countries that are still not receiving the true message. There's so many people that really don't know who they really are. And that's the focus, to help people discover who they really are in the Messiah.
And our Messiah prophesied about a great awakening, so WONI is here to help us spread that message and awaken our people. The quicker our people awaken,
Yes.
the quicker he's returning. And so we're asking $1, right?
Yes.
So Craig, before we close, is there anything else that you'd like our audience to know about WONI, your heart, the vision, the dream?
I can say this. Yah is waking up his people. And just like in 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people who are called by his name, we're called by his name, and he's waking up his people. The dry bones are waking up. All we have to be is to be sensitive to the Ruach, and let his Ruach open our hearts. And but not only open our hearts, but to move on what he's putting in us and do what he's called us to do. Because time is running out. And I believe that there is a season right now where he is pouring out his spirit, waking up his people, calling them to know who they are, learn about who they are, learn about the true gospel in the scriptures, and then become disciples and go and spread the word. That's the mandate that I see.
Well, guys, there you have it. There's not much more I can say. You've heard his heart, you've heard his passion, and we just like to say shalom, and thank you for joining the marketplace.
$1. Just $1 a month can help us upgrade One Nation Israel to reach the 12 tribes of Israel around the world. Help us promote unity throughout the nation of Israel. Click on the donate button. Enter $1 in the box. Check monthly donation and complete the process. You can cancel at any time.